Alright guys, Corey Margera here. In this video we are going to be discussing the superior lifestyles of MGTOW and introversion. First, let's start off with MGTOW and why this needs to become mainstream. More so than feminism. It is ridiculous how... Okay, let's start off here. Okay, let's just start off right from the bat. Okay, if there's anyone who needs to be going this way, if there are any group of men on the planet that need to be going their own way, it should be black men. Okay, I don't know, and this just goes back to my point of why the black culture is a flawed culture. Okay, all right, this just proves my point right here. Because how is it that there are smart white and Asian men that are going their own way, saving wealth, not worrying about women? And yes, I do know that there are some black men out there doing this as well. All right, and some Latino men as well. But let's be honest with ourselves for the most part. This has been scientifically proven fact that the black man and the Latino man are the biggest simps of all time. The biggest simps of all time. That is logically proven fact. I mean, when you this is fact. You do not see white men, Asian men, even Arab men treating their women, putting them on a pedestal the way you see black men and Latino men. And this is strongly due to the single mother phenomenon craze that's been going on in this country for the past how many fucking years now. All right, and it's something that really needs to stop. This lifestyle, this is exactly what Tommy Sotomayor means in his videos about how single mothers are corrupting their male children and how this is forcing a lot of black men to become idiots. All right? No, not every black man is going to be a thug. Not every Latino man is going to be a thug. But guess what they're raising? Simps. All right? It's like you're either becoming a simp or a thug or both. All right? And that should alone prove to you that the black culture, as of right now, and Latino culture in this country are flawed. Period. There's no debate about that. There's no argument. There's not going to be a debate about this. That is fact. You have to accept that. And it has to stop. And one way that we can regain control is with this movement. A smart movement. All right, and I don't want to hear any of these stupid black feminists like Lashee for you and all the cunts out here, like Happy Hooker 83 or whatever, saying, "Oh, men going their own way is bad," and you're following the white man's footstep. Well, you know what? That white man created a biblical vision that was smart, and that needs to be a vision that needs to be taken in this day and age in our society. So, yeah, shut the fuck up. Okay. Now that you are shutting the fuck up and going away because you're a cunt and no one cares about your opinion, your flawed opinion, now we can get on to bigger topics. Guys, if you're first of all, and let's also bring this up. How come social interaction in this country is such shit? Because and let me explain what I mean by that. How come in this country it seems like the only place you can meet a woman or a woman can meet a man is by going to the club, going to a bar, or going to a church? Okay, there is a huge problem with that. All right, you want to know what the problem is with that? Some of us are agnostic and atheists, so we're not going to be bothered with the church scene. As well as some of us, we are not going to be bothered with drunk idiots and fucking whiny women, childish, idiotic women who want us to pay for everything. All right, so clubs and bars are out of the Okay, so what next? What next? Okay? Unless America decides to be responsible enough to create other social gatherings for better social interaction, new places where we can, meet women and meet men who are actually good people, who don't drink, who aren't religious crazy motherfuckers, who aren't over Christian and all that crap. Until America decides to build new stable places, all right, new sanctuaries, if you will, for us to meet better quality women, and even women to meet better quality men like us. Until that happens, until there is a sanctuary, until there is a unit, until there is a great place, great institutionalized place where normal people can meet up and have a good time and talk about, different topics, from politics to video games, anime, all different types of shit. Until there is a place. And no, that place is not Starbucks. That is for the hipsters. Okay, okay. No. Okay. There needs to be better places in America where, for social interaction. Okay? And right now, let's face it, we don't have those places. You got a restaurant, McDonald's, shit like that. There are no real great clubs, great organizations, better places for social interaction unless you go to a fucking convention. Okay? And conventions are, one of them. First of all, conventions are going to be overcrowded. Okay? You go to Comic-Con, you go anything like that, that's going to be overcrowded as fuck. All right? And if you're an introvert, you're not going to have a good time. All right? Overcrowd, it doesn't work. There's a flawed system right here. Flawed. And until these issues are fixed, men have absolutely every right to go their own way. Period. They have every right to go their own way. Until things are fixed in this country, until laws are changed, all right? Let's be realistic. All these idiots that want to say, well, we got to change the laws, we got to vote. First of all, we can vote all we want, but there's going to be a whole shitload of people. All right, extroversion, all right, single women, all those motherfuckers outnumber us, the normal people, the good taste having people, the introverts, the people like us that are going around. They outnumber us. Look, be rational here. They outnumber us. So how are we going to get that done? We're not going to get that done. Okay, we can vote as much as we want. We can tell other people to vote as much as they want. You have any idea how fucked up the political system in this country is? Exactly. The Electoral College, no. All that is filler. All that is shit. All that is not going to work in our favor. We can vote as much as we want. It's not going to work in our favor because other people are going to vote against us. The only way we are going to do this properly is to be rational and logical and go our own way. That's the only way this is going to work. Okay? Now, I've been watching a lot of videos on MGTOW, all right, men going their own way. And, I've just recently subscribed to he's a decent YouTuber. He's Sandman. And I'm going to leave a link in the description to some of his videos so you can check them out. But, when I was looking at the comments, I'm literally reading about a lot of guys who have seen the light. A lot of smart men who have seen the light have been fucked over. Yes, there is. I mean, I'm looking at some of these comments right now while I'm doing this video, and it's just funny how You get all these women who expect you to buy them drinks. Not some of us are straight edge. Thank you. All this crap. All this stupid crap. There needs to be better institutions, better places to meet other people, and it's as simple as that. And until those demands are met, you should go your own way. I mean, I'm looking at this right now. I'm looking at this right now. All right, nightclubs. This is one of his videos, Sandman's videos, and this is just ridiculous, man. This is just ridiculous. This is exactly what happens when you try to be too liberal for your own good, and too open-minded and too politically correct for your own good. This is the end result. All right? This is why the American culture is complete and utter dog shit. That is why extroversion is a bad thing. This is exactly why. If you haven't listened to anything I've been saying on this channel pertaining to topics like this, this is exactly why extroversion is a flawed lifestyle. That is exactly why. I mean, I'm just reading the comments. You can read them for yourself too. When I put the link in, I'm going to put the link in the description. You can read some of this stuff yourself. You can even read some of these black men that were former mandingos, former simps, going their own way and seeing the light. And this is just unacceptable. First of all, this is absolutely unacceptable. This is 100% unacceptable. Okay? If there are not going to be better places to meet normal women, good women, aside from church, clubs, and bars, and all these stupid karaoke lounges, then fuck off. It's that simple. Okay? We in America don't know how to create shit. Okay? You get smart people who create a good movement like this, who have common sense and use it, and a movement that should be mainstream as well as the introverted lifestyle. That needs to be mainstream too. The way America is going, the introverted lifestyle is the best alternative you have. Okay? No, we're not all shy. We're not all completely all this crap. Introversion is a lifestyle choice. It is a superior choice. It is the best choice. Period. Okay? And you want to know why it's the best choice? Because I said so. And because introverts are not getting wasted and hammered at shitty, extroverted, functionalized places. They're not getting shit-faced, wasted, hammered. They're not getting drunk. They're not getting into fights over stupid, pitiless, meaningless bullshit. All right? They're not saying, "Oh, yo, nigga, you look at my girl. Yo, son, you got a problem now? What? They're not introvert, smart human beings that have common sense are not doing that. You have to realize your culture is flawed. And when you wake up and realize that, you have to create your own culture. You have to customize and edit your own culture. That is how it works. That's what these smart. Let me tell you, black men. This is why we are the bottom, and that's why Hispanics as well. We're on the bottom of the list because we are stupid. We are not smart. The white man was smart. White people. You get a strong white man who develops common sense, and he's like, you know what, MGTOW, going your own way. Being introverted. That's the superior choice. That's why the Japanese, the Asians, they're ahead of the Asians are gonna absolutely run this country eventually. They're gonna do the Japanese, especially. It's done and done. It's done and done. I'm surprised it hasn't happened already. Honestly, I'm surprised. I think probably because I don't know. Maybe it's because their birth rate is a lot slower over in like Asian countries. Asians, are much more introverted, so they're not having as many kids. But I'm surprised it really hasn't happened already. It should have happened a long time ago. Period. I mean a lot of the Japanese culture in general. I mean, the Japanese herbivores are doing. It's basically what MGTOW is here in America. You know, but that should really be like the standard of living right there. In all honesty, especially when you look at our society today, and you look at all the sluts, the whores, the dude bros, the jocks, the thugs, the idiots, the retarded people who always want to get into fights at clubs and bars. You look at all those stupid people. You look at the flawed lifestyle of the extrovert. The flawed lifestyle choice. A flawed lifestyle. And why it's bad. And why people are losing millions of dollars in divorce settlements. And you just have to do the math yourself, and you have to use common sense and logic. You have to think rationally. And realize that the extroverted lifestyle is a flawed lifestyle. Period. You have to realize that the Black American lifestyle is a flawed lifestyle. Period. You have to realize these things, and you have to accept them. You have to accept them because it is the truth. It is the fucking truth. Science has proven that introverts are smarter people on average. Science has proven that the extroverted lifestyle, going out to partying and clubbing and being thugs and all that stupid shit, leads to bad results. This has been proven. This has been proven. You can go outside and use common sense and logic and see why this is true. Especially if you live in a city. Especially if you live in an urban environment. Gentrification or no gentrification, you can tell, you can see with your own eyes the extroversion lifestyle and why it is flawed. Let me tell you guys a little fucking story. Okay? When Sony launched the PS3 back in 2006, they got cocky, they got arrogant. All right? And ironically enough, it was a big black system. Just like these big, fat black women and all these, quote unquote, strong, independent black women that tell you your mama black and all that other horse shit. All this, pro-black, pro-feminism bullshit. All that bad taste, all that hot garbage you hear. All that flawed logic that you hear. Yeah. Well, Sony thought like a stereotypical black woman back in 2006. Sony thought that we're fucking PlayStation. We're Sony PlayStation. We were successful with the PS1, the PS2. The PS2 is still the top selling home video game console ever. With over 150 million units sold worldwide. They got arrogant. And look what happened when the PS3 launched in November of 2006. As a matter of fact, don't even start there yet. Let's go back to E3 2006. That's right. $600. $499. $599. Sony got arrogant. And the truth is, too, this was actually something that was worth it. Because the PS3 was the cheapest Blu-ray player on the market at that time. But, let's not talk about, we're not getting into all the fanboyism and all that crap. Let's look at this from a logical business perspective here. Let's use our brains and use common sense. The PlayStation 3 launch was a disaster. E3 2006, Sony fucked up. But you know where Sony was smart? They realized that they fucked up. They realized that their logic was stupid and it was failing. See, unlike these women out here, Sony realized that they were failing and they had to do something about it. They knew that the Xbox 360 and the Nintendo Wii were selling more than the PlayStation 3 and were being talked about and praised more than the PlayStation 3, even though the PlayStation 3 was a more powerful system. But Sony, again, got arrogant with that cell processor. And you know what Sony did in 2009? After 3 years, they finally realized, you know what? We fucked up. We fucked up. And you know what Sony did in 2009? They launched the PS3 Slim. They cut costs wherever they could, and they tried to fix the flawed mistakes. That's what they tried to do. That's something black women need to take notice from, because they are not being smart like how Sony was being smart. They took responsibility and realized they fucked up. It was too expensive. For that amount of money, you could get a gaming PC. Let's get back to basics here. Let's start releasing more games. Let's release more first party exclusives. Let's try to get exclusive downloadable content. With Batman Arkham Asylum, you get to play as Joker only on the PS3 version. Let's get back to basics here. Let's be smart. Let's be rational. That's what Sony did. That's what smart people do. They realize something is a failure and they fix it. There is no, let's let our ego get the best of us. No, we fixed the problems. That's what we do. That's what smart, rational people do. That is what logic does to people. When you use logic, you fix a problem. That is what you do. You don't say, "Oh, your mama black." You don't. Sony could have if Sony would have took the black woman, the stereotypical black woman approach, or the stereotypical Latino woman approach, the ghetto Latino woman approach. This is what Sony would have said. Well, you bought the PS2, son. Yo, come on. What's wrong with you? How come you ain't buying the PS3? Yo, come on. Why you buying that 360? Why you buying that Wii, son? Yo, your PS2 was Sony. How come you ain't buying Sony now? What up, son? No. That's what Sony. That's the mentality of women in general, especially black women. That's the mentality. That's bad taste 101. That is complete and utter bad taste that has been proven failure. That failure is why the black community is looking the way it is. Period. If black women would have been smart like Sony was in 2009, these problems would eventually be fixed. As a matter of fact, if the American culture in general were to fix its problems and stop forcing the extroverted lifestyle down our throats, then this would be fixed instantly. Instantly. If there were more places to meet normal women and normal men instead of clubs and bars and churches, this whole phenomenon would have been fixed. And don't get me started on the flawed bullshit of online dating. Don't get me started on that fucking bullshit. Online dating is a farce. Online dating does not work. Online dating, it works for, it's like winning the lottery. It's 1 in a million. It's 1 in a million. Do you have any idea how many shitty quality of women and men you're going to see on these online dating services? People think that that's going to be a quick fix. Match.com. Or it's all the online dating, meeting someone on Facebook. Yes, you may find a needle in a haystack. You may find a rose in the concrete, but chances are you're not going to meet good quality there. Online dating has been proven it doesn't work. It doesn't work. Okay? All right, do you have any idea how many pathetic human beings go on these online dating services? How much shit is on those online dating services? How many unlikable people are on those online dating services? Instead of just focusing on the narrow objective. See, this is another reason why I don't like open world video games. Because it takes your eye off the prize. I want to get shit done in video games. Not drive around in some overrated piece of shit like GTA, San Andreas, and look at pixelated prostitutes or just jack cars. Come on, that shit gets old after 3 minutes. And the story was ghetto, hood, and cliche as well. And you all know it. Don't come on here with this bullshit. San Andreas was the best video game of all time. No. That's your flawed opinion. Shut the fuck up. It was not the best video game of all time. It was not even the best game on PS2. So yeah. Hush your trap. Get the fuck out of my face. Okay? But yeah, in most of these open world video games, you got all these. You gotta talk to all these non-playable characters and go on this stupid side quest and side. It's filler. It is filler, and it takes your mind off the prize. This is why I prefer linear gaming, and I don't give a shit what any of you motherfuckers have to say. All right. When you take your eye off the prize, you get distracted with meaningless, stupid filler, and it fucks things up. Now, what could have happened in a shorter amount of time now takes a longer period of time. Instead of, going for the type of woman you have a lot in common with, you now have to search for filler. You have to search through a bunch of filler and crap. Instead of having better institutions, better places where it's easier to meet women, better clubs, better organizations where you can meet women you have a lot in common with, which is something that should have been done, but again, we in America are stupid. This greatly improves the filler, which is a bad thing. All right, let me give you guys a few more examples of realizing a failure and stopping it. Let me give you another example. Let me give you guys another example. Bernie Stoller. Yes, I'm going to be doing a lot of gaming related. Yes. But Bernie Stoller, he used to work for Sega. He made a smart business decision. Now, many would argue it helped kill the brand. It did not kill the brand. There were a lot. There was the PS2. There was a lot of other things. No, let me tell you what Bernie Stoller did. And most of you who know the video game industry, who know Sega, who know like the rise and fall of Sega, you'll know about this. But Bernie Stoller in 1998 said that the Saturn was not our future. And for those of you wondering what the Saturn is, no, not the Saturn, not the cars, no, not the planet Saturn, no, the Sega Saturn. The Sega Saturn, which was launched in 1995, earlier than it was supposed to be launched, and it was competing with the Sony PlayStation 1 and the Nintendo 64. Okay, Bernie Stoller made a smart business decision. It was smart. It was biblical, and I don't give a shit how many of you idiots disagree with it because he was right. The Saturn was a failure. You got to live with it. You have to deal with it. And you have to realize that smart people like us know more about this than you. All right? The Sega Saturn was a predominantly 2D machine competing in a 3D console market. There was no way it was going to compete. Yes, you had Virtual Fighter. Yes, you had Knights. But let's face it, you didn't have Sonic, you didn't have Shinobi, you didn't have a Streets of Rage 4, which would have definitely sold a lot of Saturns. You didn't have a new Vector Man. You didn't have a lot of third-party support. You did not have any of those things, and that killed the Saturn. And Sega was not smart enough to say, hey, you know what? Let's postpone the Saturn. Let's see what Sony's offering. Let's see what Nintendo's going to be offering. Let's wait until maybe, 1996. Or at least wait until the fall of 1995 like it was supposed to be. No, we launched in May of 1995. That was stupid. Sega was stupid. And you people that want to defend stupid, irrational behavior and stupid business decisions are stupid, and you have ignorance. You are filled with ignorance. Okay? You do not release a 2D console competing with a 3D two 3D consoles that have much better third-party support. Well, in Sony PlayStation, they had better third-party support. The N64, come on. Nintendo. Nintendo's not leaving. They could fuck up. They're not leaving this market. Sega got lucky with the Genesis, and they should have said, you know what? Let's use that momentum. No, they didn't. They released 32X. That was stupid. Bad taste. The Sega CD, stupid. Bad taste. Sega Saturn, early, stupid. Bad taste. You see where I'm getting from here? You see where I'm coming from? Do you see where I'm coming from? Exactly. Dumb decisions equal dumb results. And that's why, now more than ever, you need to go your own way. But Corey, what does Sega being a stupid company have to do with MGTOW? And it's all about rational and logic decisions. Read between the lines. Use common sense. You have to fix a problem. There was really no way to fix this problem as well. Okay? There was really no way to fix this problem. There was really no way to fix this. Okay, it's like WCW 2000. Vince Russo, yeah, he killed WCW. Yeah, David Arquette, world champion. No. Okay, what killed WCW was this man. This man right here. I am not against guaranteed contracts, because, wrestlers want to make money. They want to make a living. But let's look at how stupid this man was for giving guys like Hulk Hogan, giving guys like Kevin Nash full creative control in their contracts. He killed WCW, not Russo. Paul, and let's be completely honest with ourselves here again, stupid people, or for the idiots out there with shitty taste, shitty opinions. If Paul Heyman was running WCW 2000, that's right, you all love Paul Heyman, internet wrestling fans. If he was running WCW in 2000, it still would have went out of business. There was nothing that could have saved it. Paul Heyman, he would have gotten to heated arguments with Kevin Nash, Hulk Hogan as well, and it would have been a fucking disaster. Fact. Use logic and reason. There's no way Paul Heyman was going to stop. All right, he would have got lawsuit, and that's why ECW went out of business. Okay, because, and I love the original ECW. I do. I truly do. But let's face facts here. Facts. Unless ECW would have been mainstream and got on a bigger network, it was doomed. Just like TNA is doomed right now. And ECW, let me debunk the argument that ECW could never have been mainstream. It could have been mainstream. That is a fact. The Attitude Era was mainstream. All right, if you have games like Grand Theft Auto, if porn is borderline mainstream now, okay, you know how many people watch porn? How many? And ECW could not have been mainstream? When you have shows like South Park, Family Guy, all these shows pushing the envelope. All right, you're worried about a little violence and some nudity here and that, and some sexually clad women. Come on, ECW had the potential to be mainstream. What happened was the fact that you had conservative imbeciles in the big businesses that did not want ECW to be mainstream. Fact. Fact. That's not debatable. That's fact. Okay? See, there are times when we're in a no-win situation. There are times, and the black community today is at a no-win situation. Our community has been turned against us, which is why we need to go our own way. There's no saving the black community now. It's dead. There were people who thought that they could save Sega. There were people who thought they could save WCW. Did they succeed? No. You cannot save something that has gone too far to the point where there's no way you can take it seriously anymore. Even Jim Cornette said this. All you Jason Blacks out there, like the Black Authority, all you pro-blacks out there who are fighting this lost cause, all you idiots that are fighting this lost cause, you want to, first of all, you're not even studying black economics. You're not. Okay, let's cut the bullshit. Let's cut the bullshit. You're not studying you're not studying group economics. Black people are not studying that. Okay, had we been studying something like that, we'd be in a way better position in this country than we are right now. That's fact. I don't want to hear any of these retarded, mentally challenged people who are that stupid that are going to say, well, when we had Black Wall Street in Tulsa, Oklahoma, they bombed it down. Do you really think what happened back then is going to happen today? Live in the present. Live realistically and use logic. Do you really think... you people are saying that there's going to be a race war. There's going to be a race war? When? There ain't going to be no fucking race war. There's not going to be a fucking race war. If there was, it would have happened already. Do you have any idea how far we have come? There ain't going to be no race war in 2015 in America. That's stupid. That's you being stupid. Your ignorance got the best of you. That's stupidity. There isn't going to be a race war in America this day and age? No! Do you have any idea how many interracial marriages? Do you have any idea how many mixed children? Do you have any idea that there's more other ethnicities like Asians and Hispanics and Arabs coming into this country? There's going to be a race war. It's going to be black people versus white people. How's that going to happen? Where are those other motherfuckers? Where are they going to stand? And black people are stupid. If they want a race war, they're stupid for wanting one. Because you know damn well we are the minority in this country. And if there was a race war tomorrow, we would be fucked. So yeah. But you shut up. Shut up. Like I said, logic. Use logic. I don't know how clear I have to make this for you. I really don't. Sometimes I feel like talking to the human race is like talking to a brick wall. Because some of you really are that stupid. You're ignorant. You're fucking stupid. Period. The introverted lifestyle is the way to go. MGTOW is the way to go. It's the way to go. It's the way to go. It's the way of the future. This is the only way. If you want people taking you more seriously, build your wealth. Leave these cunts alone. Let feminism die by itself. Because feminism is going to kill itself. Watch. Let me tell you the facts. Women hate other women. This is good. They're going to kill each other. Trust. This is fact. This has been proven fact. Watch. Feminism is going to kill itself. All right. What you need to do is vote against it. Do whatever little you can. Do whatever you can. But know this. Voting isn't everything. And it's not going to change things overnight. It's going to take years and other bullshit that normal human beings don't feel like being bothered with. So the simplest way we can do this today is by going your own way. Period. I'll let you guys think for a second, because this is pretty much going to be the end of the video right here. I want you guys to think, and I want you guys to use rational logic and realize what we are dealing with here in this country, especially black men, but all men in general. You need to think about this. You need to start using logic. Start being rational. If there is no other place you can meet a woman, a good woman, other than church, the club, and a bar, or some shitty party where all they're playing is shitty rap music, something's wrong. Something needs to be changed. And the way you can change is by going on strike. The way you can change shit is by refusing to do stupid shit.